How many of you like to garden? All right, you like to garden, right?
Yeah.
In gardening, there's season in gardening. In gardening, you plant. When do you plant normally?
In the spring.
You plant in the spring for flowering things, and then you harvest in the fall, and then in the summer you till them, you start harvesting, and then in the winter you just let it grow until it goes again and regenerate. The same thing is in our lives, you know. We cannot say, hey, you know, I'm just going to pray so hard and it's winter and I'm going to have blossoms in my plants, in my annual plants. It's not going to happen. It doesn't matter how much you pray or how much you put water or fertilizer, because it's not the season. And if we cooperate with the season that God has given us in our lives, everything will go perfectly according to His will. And there are times for us that we say, no, let's not do this. I feel so in love with this. And you know, my friends, but sometimes in the process of holding tight on what you feel, you're actually not receiving what God had for you in the future. So I'm going to read to you this, and it's in Ecclesiastes. We heard, many of us as Christians have heard about this. Ecclesiastes 3. To everything there is a season, a time for every purpose under heaven. And remember, we're just talking about planting. You cannot just force nature to work with you. You have to cooperate with nature, with the plan of God. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to pluck what is planted. A time to kill and a time to heal. A time to break down and a time to build up. A time to weep and a time to laugh. A time to mourn and a time to dance. A time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones. A time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. A time to gain and a time to lose. A time to keep and a time to throw away. A time to tear and a time to sue. A time to keep silence and a time to speak. A time to love and a time to hate. A time of war and a time of peace. What profit has the worker from that in which he labors? I just want to stop there and then I'll end on this one. This is really not the negative thing. Because some people, again, they start to discooperate in what God is doing. And I have seen the God-given task with which the sons of men are to be occupied. Listen to this. And this is what you are part of what happened and what's still happening. He has made everything beautiful in its time.
Come on.
Also, He has put eternity in their hearts. That's what you have been doing. That's what we have been doing in the past several months. Except that no one can find out. So, I just want to end there. And many of you know that when God provided this, it was just like, I didn't know what to do with it. It was an empty building for 2.5 years. And then all of a sudden, God opened it up. It's been sitting here for a long time. But it was not time to be open until the pandemic comes.
Amen.
And then when the pandemic comes, a time of, you know, chaotic things, God had put something. In my mind, it will be an emergency only for like 2 months. And again, if you have been to the orientation for 2 months, I mean, I shared with you, I'm just thinking about like April, May, June, July. And it continues on. God said, no. You're going to stay here. I'm going to provide for you. So in the past few months, we have shared the gospel. We have been facilitating that eternity into human hearts. And that's really changed our lives. So that's why now, imagine transform lives. And we have been part of transforming lives, alleviating hunger beyond bags of food. A few months ago, back in November, December last year, I'm just going to share this with all of you. There are times probably in your life that God had spoken to you like uniquely that specific time, and you didn't know what happened. It was after the fundraising of Faith, Hope, and Love here in this area here. We were setting up, we have interns, we were setting up things. I have a box truck, I put the tables, and then I have my 501c3 because we rented a box truck so that we can have tax exempt. And then later on I found out, where's my wallet? That was like 2 hours before the fundraiser. In the wallet, what do you have in your wallet? ID, driver's license, pictures of your children, your personal things. And it's there, so I cannot get it off of my mind. And finally my wife said, you just have to forget about it. Just focus on what we need to do. And I said, well, I just have to do that. God's angel will just have to return me the wallet.
Amen.
That's what I said. At the end of the night, we had a fruitful fundraiser, 12 midnight. And imagine, we've been working for the entire day from morning till 12 midnight. On my way home on 96th Street here from Allisonville Road, I was driving my truck, and believe me, about 10 times I went running around my truck, my box truck, my car, in the building. I was going crazy. Right at the bridge on 96th Street, I heard a thump on my windshield. And immediately I said, what is that? I saw something flying, again, a split second. And then all of a sudden, after a second or two, there was a voice that says, go back. It could be your wallet.
Wow.
I went back. I drove very slowly. And I looked, and there's none. And again, imagine it was like this cold, even colder. I was all alone in the bridge. And there's so many things that happen, that bridge, that Christ is the bridge, right? Between us and God. I was on the bridge. I don't know what to do. So I said, okay, I am so tired. I actually told God, I said, God, why did you have to remind me of this wallet? I already forgot about it. I'm so tired. I'm just ready to go to sleep. Now I can't go back to sleep thinking about all the possessions that I have there. So I went back again, and then I was already on Hazeldale, and then all of a sudden, go back. So I argued with God again. I said, I will go back there, but this is the last time. I am so tired. I went to look at it, it's not there. I said, this time I'm going to park my truck in the middle of the bridge, and I'm going to walk that because I'm not going back again. As soon as I parked the truck, so I went back around, because this is like two-way street. I went back around, I parked my car by the median, and as soon as I opened the door, I saw, I think, my 501c3. And I said, and then scattered, I saw things, and then this is what happened. You see my card? Somebody, probably in the process of me arguing with God, I drive over. I have my wallet, I'm going to frame it, because that's what we call the altar. That's the things, that's why every time I pass by the bridge, that is the portal of God. Remember what Jacob said? This must be a stairway to heaven. With Jacob.
Wow.
So for me, it always reminded me, there are times in your life that's that. Why am I sharing this to you? Wallet, what's wallet means to you? Your identity. Your possession, your credit card, your finances, your family in the wallet. And God said, I'm going to take care of you. This is wallet from heaven. I'm going to provide you things. Just a few weeks ago, it made sense to me. I thought it was just personal, but it made sense to me. God was preparing me. Then, after a few months, God told me, call that number. And He brought this drive-through for all of us to experience God. This is really not, for most of us, it's really not for the people out there, it's for you. Some of you probably have transformed your lives because of this. And now, God is saying, the season is over. The season is over, but His purpose is not over.
Right.
This season is just over, but there's another phase that God is preparing us. So let's not forget, let's not get bitter about this phase that's ending, but let's rejoice for the phase that's going to happen. And that's why for months you already heard about us. We're preparing leaders for the next phase, which is, I believe God is going to say, greater things are yet to come. I will bring you from glory to glory, and if we resist the timing of God, we may miss, especially what God has for us personally. So now God is saying, this is it. But I tell you what, I resisted that, just like I resisted the wallet from heaven. I said it couldn't be wallet from heaven. I traced back over and over. I tried to disprove that this is a miracle, and I cannot disprove it. I cannot disprove it. Logically, I can't. The same thing now as what's going to happen is that what is next for this operation? So 300 salvations. That's what happened. We have planted eternity in people's lives. 300, and you were part of that. Now as you plant, you don't just leave the plant there, right? You have to sow, and that's where the discipleship, the next phase that God is showing us, is that with the 300 people, some of them probably are still addicted to pornography. Some of them probably are still depressed. Some of them are still, don't know what they're going to do with their lives, right? It doesn't mean that when people receive Jesus Christ, everything is good. It's not. I mean, you and I need reminders.
Yeah.
I need this reminder myself today. What more for the new believers? That after we share the gospel, they receive Jesus Christ and they expect something better, something good is going to happen because that's what we said, but they can't see it. So now we owe it to them to share the gospel, to share the discipleship, to share about the kingdom principles and how to live the life, even though in this physical world, but how to live spiritually. That's what Jesus said. So that's our next phase. For 2 months, I've been asking Starbucks if they can extend it. No answer. When I first called them, they were the ones saying, hey, yeah, take this, take the building. I went around 82nd Street looking for empty buildings. The doors were closed. I called the owner of the building from California, and we became like friends, far apart. And I asked him, can you donate the building? I'm not afraid to ask for things. And he said the bank owns most of the building, even though the tax credit that we will be offering them. So, not that I just like, okay, this is what's going to happen, I'm just going to wait. I actively wait. Even the person who facilitated this, the real estate agent, he's been looking and he cannot find anything also. And 2 days ago, I said, God is reminding me, go for it, because in my mind, should we really do this? I received an email from the owner. They're hiring a new real estate agent because he really wants to lease this as soon as possible when Starbucks ends the lease in March of next year. We will still be here, Lord willing, until probably mid-January, but as you see there, our last food pantry will be December 12th,
Yes.
December 12th. Now, when you serve today, let me remind this to you. Serve as if this is the last time you're going to see that person. We started this strong, but we want to finish even stronger. We want from the people's minds, just like the last time I saw Anne, or the last time I saw Donna, or the last time I saw Joseph, that I felt different at that time. So let's not lose this opportunity in November and opportunity in December to sow that seed and hopefully water. We will start the discipleship. We already have 2 churches who said yes to us, one in the south side and one in the north side. We're going to have like a group meeting for the south side. We're going to invite all the 400 unique individuals who have come here, and then some of them will live in the north side. We will be meeting in the vineyard maybe once a month, and then we will break out into groups. So that's the next phase, at least what I know right now, what God is communicating with me. And if you want to be part of that, either co-leader, because we already have leaders, or maybe part of that discipleship group, just see Donna or me or Joseph. And then the second thing is that not a lot, 99% of nonprofit will not survive without money. And before I was just, embarrassed to ask money I'm not asking money for myself. I'm asking money for this operation. What's next? So you should have received a link that you can be a fundraiser for Faith, Hope, and Love, and you don't need to ask people, beg people. All you have to do once you get your web page link, shoot that to other people and let God speak to them. Don't force things. Again, if you are called to do this. The next one will be November 12th. November 14th. Please don't forget, just invite the other volunteers to be here. We have become a family here. And that will not end. Again, there is